It's not over, Rainbow. The evil voice laughed. It will never be over. Dash was back to herself, and in the corner, next to one of the guards she had brutally slaughtered. Twitch. But why? Why did you come back? Why won't you leave me alone? Rainbow's voice was sad and terrified at the thought of being unable to control herself, and that this demon was going to harm her and her friends further. Why me? Why did you choose me? Because you are the strongest host I have ever found. The voice within her interrupted. You are the one I chose to become my voice, to become me. Rainbow couldn't believe what she was hearing. She was frozen with fright, and slowly began rocking back and forth next to the wall, bashing her head on it lightly with each pull. No, you won't. I will never let you take me over and destroy Equestria and my friends. The voice just laughed. Do you think you can tell me what to do? I can do whatever I want. I own you now. There is no escape. Your friends will die, along with Equestria. No, they won't. You won't be able to control me. You know why? The voice didn't respond. You will not be able to control me, because I still have the bone saw in my hoof. And do you know what that means? Dash's voice was serious. The voice just cackled. Yeah, I do. Sweet dreams. The voice took control of the hoof bearing the saw. Wait, what are you... The uncontrollable hoof swung the bone saw into Rainbow Dash's wing, cutting the whole wing clean from her body. Bleed. 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 The voice cheered with glee at seeing Rainbow's wing now on the floor, making blood pour from the joint like a fountain, covering her cyan coat with her own blood. Rainbow grabbed her wing joint, trying to desperately not to let it bleed too much so that she passed out. My wing! Ah! Why? 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 I'd rather be dead. Just fucking kill me already! The evilness within the voice just cackled with loud as Rainbow Dash tried to pull her hoof to her wound to stop the bleeding from coming out. In time, my dear. In time. Meanwhile, 1 hour later in Sector B, the four friends were running around and exhausted, but they kept on going, trying to find a safe place to rest. Eventually, they reached the end of the corridor and found the exit door. Unfortunately, it was sealed shut by the titanium riot door that stretched all the way down the door from the end. From what they could tell, it had to at least be 6 inches thick, and of course, very, very heavy. Applejack let out a loud sigh, trying desperately to breathe. Consarn it! What do you think we do now? There's nowhere to go. She'll find us eventually. Rarity walked up to AJ and placed a hoof on her shoulder. Calm down, Applejack. There has to be some place we can go to get out of this dirty prison, and then we can... Rarity stopped. There was an evil-sounding laughter coming from around the corner, at the other end of the corridor. It was Rainbow Dash. She had snapped back into her evil side. She had obviously found out where her friends were. Oh God, she found us! Rarity squirmed. All of them gulped hard and found a place to hide. Rarity and Fluttershy went into an old shipping box and placed themselves inside. Twilight and Applejack had nowhere to go, however, so Twilight used an invisibility spell to turn both her and Applejack transparent. This way, the crazed Pegasus wouldn't see them. They stared cautiously at the wall at the end of the corridor to see if Rainbow Dash was coming around the corner. The maniacal laughter got louder and louder by every minute, and eventually Her shadow could be made out against the concrete wall before them. Twilight and Applejack's eyes both filled with fear as they saw the terrifying figure stumble around the corner, blood still flowing intensely out of her mangled wing joint. She was giggling to herself as she scanned the dimly lit corridor for her targets. Come out to play. Rainbow had a very disturbing grin on her face, with blood staining her teeth, making her look like a wolf after a night's feast. Rarity, rarity, come out and play with me. Rainbow's maniacal smile got wider, and her eyes narrowed downward even more than before as she kept her crazed smile and bloody look. Twilight, come out. Come help a friend. You'll be sorry you ever brought me here. She snarled and sounded demanding as she started drooling both spit and blood from the side of her lips. Rainbow had had enough of playing hide-and-seek, and her targets started to get violent. She began by tossing and throwing boxes or anything she could find. She began grunting and growling more and more. The blood from her mouth bled its way out faster and faster, until she looked like a bloodthirsty rabid dog. Where are you all? Come out and bleed. Rainbow laughed maniacally as her pains grew stronger, making her act more mental each minute. All the ponies were petrified at what had become of their friend. Applejack was nearest to her, and that didn't make her feel safe at all. It made her feel extremely unsafe, and also made her breathing heavy. Heavy enough that there was no way Rainbow couldn't hear her. The sound caught Rainbow's ears, and she turned around. Twilight stuck a hoof in Applejack's mouth to stop her. I know you're there, AJ. I can hear you. Rainbow snarled. Applejack stuttered as she responded without being seen, under the influence of Twilight's spell. Rainbow, stop what y'all doing. You aren't yourself, Sugar Cube. Calm yourself down. Applejack tried to sound calm, but still sound demanding. Rainbow twitched again. Twitch, twitch. Applejack, where are you? I've got a present for you. Rainbow lied. Her so-called present was the scalpel. She would surely slash Applejack's throat out if she ever found her. Rainbow, put the scalpel away. Why don't you listen to your friends? Applejack sounded quite sad, but still angry with what has become of her friend. Rainbow snarled a horrific growl onto her face. Friends? Friends? Dash continued to growl. You're not my friends. What friend would drag me to a prison? Ugh. I want to be free. Rainbow continued her maniacal rampage, and this time, not just throwing random structures and objects everywhere, but starting to swing her scalpel in Applejack's direction. One swing nearly grazed her cheekbone. I'll show you the true meaning of pain. Rainbow's crazy grin was now full of sighs, giving her a more disturbing look. They made her look more like a cannibal with blood and flesh between her teeth. Twilight and Applejack had less space to move in, upon all the thrown junk and pieces scattered around from their rainbow main friend. Rainbow was not moving rapidly with the scalpel in her hand, swinging it repeatedly around, cutting Applejack's cheek as she did so. Applejack let out a loud cry of pain as the blood started to drip down her graze. The cut wasn't that deep, but it did indeed hurt. Applejack held her hoof to her left cheek, applying pressure to the wound to attempt to stop the blood coming out. A yelp of pain caught Rainbow Dash's attention, and soon she heard the dripping of blood fall to the floor and splat upon impact. I smell your essence. Your blood smells lovely. Rainbow hissed under her breath. Applejack and Twilight's eyes shrunk to the size of pin tips as they grunted in disgust of what they heard her friend say. They both had a thought about what they could do while they were not invisible to Rainbow's eyes. They both were trying to think whether they should try to reason with the tormented Pegasus or knock her out. But how? Just then, Twilight had a thought. Applejack had a strong kick, right? She is strong enough to buck trees for their apples, so why not help a friend? Of course, the most loyal of ponies was no longer loyal due to her current insane state. Would a mind spell work if they knocked her out? Or would it fail? It happened with the Discord accident, so why not on a friend's tormented soul? Hey, AJ, Twilight muttered under her breath, in a faint whisper. Applejack responded quietly. Yeah? Twilight? I have an idea, but you'll have to help me with it. Twilight was still eyeing the cold-blooded Pegasus. Sure, Twilight. What is it? Do you think you could knock out Rainbow by bucking her into that wall? This caused AJ to let out a quiet gasp. Buck Rainbow? I don't know, Twi. She may be insane, but I don't want to knock her down. Twilight rolled her eyes. AJ, I know you don't want to, but it's the only way we're going to get out of this. She'll kill us before long. Applejack repeated her pained look as she stared at where she presumed the purple unicorn was, thinking about what she had been asked to do to one of her friends. Applejack let out a quiet sigh. Okay, Twi. I'll do it. Applejack got lined up with Rainbow and the wall and cocked her powerful legs to push her strength into them both. She bucked them back at full strength, followed by a loud grunt, sending Rainbow back first into the thick concrete wall behind her. The blow instantly knocked Rainbow off her feet and made her crumple onto the floor with a thud. Rainbow moaned in pain as she turned back into her normal self once she landed. She saw Applejack and Twilight come into view as the invisibility spell was deactivated. All Rainbow said before blacking out was, Twilight?